Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Fitness Education Series produced by the Australian Fitness Academy. It's like progressive overload for your brain. I'm your host, Tom Rock, and in today's episode, I'm going to talk about the benefits of resistance training. And I think it's an important thing. We've probably touched on it a fair bit throughout the podcast, especially we talked about older adults at one point and the benefits of that. But I think it's important when we're talking about health and fitness, or we're talking to clients about exercise programs and encouraging them um, to exercise to be healthier, that we make sure they know the benefits of incorporating resistance training or strength training into their exercise routine. And so I did a podcast a while back, which I can link in the description, about the benefits of cardiovascular training. So I think it's also good to understand the benefits of resistance training or strength training and be able to communicate these to clients as well, because there's always aspects to training that we don't like or individuals won't enjoy as much. So some people love cardiovascular training, running, cycling, swimming, all these sort of things, and that's what they enjoy most. Other people enjoy resistance training more, so they like lifting weights, barbells, dumbbells, and doing strength training. And you get some people in the middle who like doing a bit of both, which is good, but it's important wherever you sit on that spectrum, or wherever your clients sit on that spectrum of exercise that they enjoy, they should understand hopefully the benefit of each types, and that will hopefully assist them to put it in their program and understand the importance of having it in their program, so they can benefit from it. So today we're just going to go through some basic benefits of resistance training. So it helps people understand why it's good to incorporate, and I think it's sometimes hard with social media and potentially just marketing in general, but strength training and resistance training is not just for athletes or people that are bodybuilders and looking to build crazy amounts of muscle. Um, and it's definitely not as bad as it used to be. I don't think. I think it's going a lot the other direction. People don't think that as soon as they pick up at a weight, they're going to bulk up and look really muscular, and it doesn't work like that. And it's a really good way and it's really important to explain that to clients, that they're not going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger after 3 months of lifting weights. It's not how it works. So the benefits are there, and you're not going to turn out looking like a bodybuilder if you lift weights. But there's a whole lot of benefits that go in hand with lifting weights, which is why it's important. So the first one is increased muscle mass, and we'll talk about some of the benefits of increased muscle mass as we go through the podcast. But increased muscle mass, again, doesn't mean you're going to look like a bodybuilder. It's going to increase relatively slowly, and it's not going to be overly noticeable generally. So increased muscle mass doesn't mean a huge increase in muscle mass, but it does mean increasing muscle mass on your body, which has a lot of benefits, as we'll sort of get through. But one of them is improved metabolic rate. So our metabolic rate is basically how many kilojoules we burn just by doing nothing. So, well, that's our basal metabolic rate, but our metabolic rate is how metabolically active, how much kilojoules do we burn just by doing things and our body functioning. And an increased metabolic rate, our muscle is metabolically active, so it uses energy. Whether I'm sitting here, whether I'm going for a walk, if I've got higher muscle mass, I'm going to be burning more kilojoules. So in terms of helping with fat loss or maintaining a healthy body weight, more muscle mass is going to be super beneficial for that. So it's going to help you sort of manage weight as well, but it's going to help also preserve your muscle mass during weight loss if you're strength training as well. So your body's going to potentially burn fat rather than burning muscle if we're sort of resistance training as well. It's going to help us maintain that muscle mass, which is going to be essential for long-term weight management. If we go on a diet and we're trying to lose weight and we're not doing any resistance training, we're more likely to lose sort of fat and muscle, and then our metabolic rate drops and we potentially put on more fat later. So improving our metabolic rate and maintaining our muscle mass is going to help with weight loss or fat loss, but also weight management in the long run. Another great benefit of strength training is increased bone density. So basically, it improves the strength of your bones, which is crucial for preventing osteoporosis. It reduces the risk of fractures, and especially in older adults. But even if you don't think you're prone to it younger, as we resistance train, we build up that bone density. So as we age, we're less prone to these things. So don't wait till you're older. It's never too late to start. So you can definitely still look to increase bone density or reduce the loss of bone density. But it's one great benefit of resistance training is you do build up that bone density. So later on in life and throughout your life, you're less prone to fractures and things like osteoporosis. Better mental health. So mental health, exercise, all types of exercise have great benefits for mental health, and that's the same for resistance training. So it has been shown to reduce the symptoms of anxiety, depression, and stress, and promote an overall sense of well-being. You can also look at sort of the discipline side of strength training. So all sorts of exercise has discipline. To go for a run or resistance training, obviously going in 2, 3, 4 times a week to get your training done, you need that consistency, and that discipline does help improve self-esteem and confidence, especially as you start to sort of track progress. So resistance training is really good and allows you to track your progress quite closely, whether you measure, and as long as you keep track of your sets, your reps, and how much you're lifting, it's a really great way to track progress and see your own improvements, which builds self-confidence. And it can also help sort of build a sense of accomplishment as well, because you can sort of see that you are getting better or stronger or fitter, which will definitely contribute to positive mental health and feeling good about yourself, which is important. Along with the increased muscle mass comes increased strength. And obviously we get increased strength so we can lift heavier, and that's sort of progressive overload. As we start to get stronger, the weights we lift get heavier and heavier. But outside of the gym, that increase in muscle mass and increase in strength is going to help make everyday tasks a lot easier. So whether it's lifting the groceries or sort of carrying heavy objects, climbing stairs, all these things that we do day in, day out that we probably take for granted at some point, strength training helps make that easier. So the body's fitter, things seem easier, so it's going to be less taxing. And as we age, we've got more ability to keep that functionality within our daily life. So strength training is going to help maintain that or build strength to make all these tasks we do day in, day out a lot easier. And then the last thing it sort of we'll touch on is its ability to reduce the risk of injury. It sort of helps. So cardiovascular training is great and we did the podcast. It goes through cardiovascular, like all your cardiovascular health, your heart, all that sort of stuff is good for cardiovascular, or your cardiovascular fitness improves that. Strength training can make you more resilient. So when you're out there doing your runs or your cycles or your swims, you want to do sprints, you want to do any sort of agility, any sort of sport training or sport you participate in, strength training is really important to make your body more resilient. So things like muscle sprains, ligament tears, all these sorts of things that can happen from overuse injuries or from just general exercise. Strength training is going to help strengthen the ligaments and tendons and muscles and get them, make sure they can withstand the forces that go through them in things that happen in everyday life, whether it's in sport, whether it's you sort of trip over and fall down the stairs, or something happens and you got to go quickly sprint across the road. Strength training is going to help reduce your risk of injury. So you can, if you do have that goal of going for a half marathon, or you do enjoy cardiovascular training more than your resistance training is still going to be important to complement the cardiovascular stuff to reduce the risk of injuries from sort of your running load and your overall training load. So strength training is just not something that you need to think, oh, I don't need to do it because I don't want to get huge and build all this muscle mass. At a base level, if you can do a full body 2 times per week, you're going to get all these benefits from strength training, which is going to flow into your cardiovascular training, flow into your everyday life, to make you feel more functional and function better and have a better quality of life. And it's going to help maintain that overall improved body composition as well. So whether you are looking to lose fat, maintain your weight, build muscle, or just maintain a healthy body fat percentage, strength resistance training and strength training is going to help you maintain or build that muscle mass that makes that improved body composition a whole lot easier to manage, given your increased metabolic rate and the maintenance of muscle mass as you lose fat. So it stops you going, your body fat levels, you'll find it a lot easier to maintain body fat levels. But yeah, quick little podcast, guys, just on some benefits of strength training. And I think it's important sometimes to explain, not necessarily all of them, but individual ones that might relate to clients well, so they see the importance of it, because that'll help increase their buy-in to their program they're doing. And if someone buys in, they'll put in more effort, and they'll generally get better outcomes if they sort of believe in what they're doing and they understand why they're doing it. So always an important thing to touch on. Other than that, guys, if you do have any questions for me, please send an email to tom@afa.com.au. I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have. Also, if you're in Melbourne and you're attending the Fitness Expo at the end of March, AFA have a stand there, and I'll be there on the Saturday, so definitely come down to the Fitness Expo in Melbourne and come say hi, have a chat. I'm always up for a good chat. So yeah, we will be at the Expo in Melbourne at the end of March. So yeah, come down and say hello. But other than that, guys, have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you all soon.